This is the CHRILLCAST. I'm Chris.
And I'm Will. Welcome, everybody.
We're back to the normal, original hosts of the show for 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see how it goes going forward because who knows. But we're here to talk about what, Will?
We're talking about the Xbox Series S and X and how they're clearly superior.
They should have had an Xbox Series E, too. That way, when you know.
Oh, yeah. You get all three. And they can join together like the
Sega the Sega, the Tower of Power.
The Tower of Power, yes.
That would be a real Tower of Power with the name.
All right, Phil Spencer. That's our idea.
All right, so Will, you have one. I do not.
Yep.
So, why did you buy one?
Why did I buy one?
Or rather, why did you have your friend go out and pick one up for you?
Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't say I am a Xbox fanboy, but I've had Xbox for a while. I'm definitely in the ecosystem. I have a lot of Xbox games. So the backwards compatibility was a big sell for me. I realize I'm unusual and not everyone does backwards compatibility, but that would
be the reason I would get one.
Yeah, so I can play all of my games still, which is great, and all of my downloaded games still play. And then another one is the quick resume is amazing.
Yeah, I think PlayStation has a similar feature.
If they have to, if they don't, because it's literally the greatest thing ever. I love being able to go between different games and then just literally forget that I'm playing a game and then come back months later and have it still saved in the middle of the game for me is just revolutionary. And then obviously Halo. I love Halo. Even though the multiplayer right now for the new one is rocky at best.
Yeah, but you and I don't really. I mean, we do, but we don't buy it for the multiplayer. No. So, for us, that wasn't a deal breaker.
No, it was almost a deal breaker. The fact that it doesn't have co-op again.
Yeah,
but the campaign is really good.
Yeah, in my opinion, if you're getting Xbox, that's one of the franchises you're getting Xbox for is Halo. Yep. If you're not buying Xbox for Halo, I'm not really sure why you're getting an Xbox. I'm not sure why. What the heck? What am I saying? It's one of those franchises that if you're getting an Xbox, you're probably getting that game.
Yeah, that's fair. It's definitely it's obviously a flagship. And the thing is, I realize it's not out yet, so this is a stupid reason, but I got an Xbox for Fable. I'm so excited for that game.
Stupid reason.
But it's not even out yet. And the thing is, I got burned last time. So I got the Xbox One, in anticipation of getting Fable Legends, even though it was free to play. And then they did
get it for a minute. You did get it for a minute.
I got the beta. That's true. But they canceled it. So I'm setting myself up for that to happen again, where Phil Spencer is going to be sorry, we're closing down Playground Studios. It's motherfucker.
Well, you do realize that okay. So fun fact on that. Technically speaking, they actually had I kept on a game for a month and it was still in the same place. Because it was the Series S. That's cool. Yeah, the quick resume feature. Demi Crow is pointing out that he left a game
quick resume is freaking amazing,
and it was still in the same place. That's pretty awesome.
The Switch kind of has something like that where you can suspend and go to the menu and stuff, or you can
most portables have that,
but it's only one game. You can't go between 4 or 5 on the on the Xbox.
For example, my Vita has that. My not Game Boy Advance, that one does not have that. But apparently the Analog Pocket might. I don't know. And my 3DS, they all three have the suspend and then go right back in. Quick resume. I only buy Xboxes for Skate and sometimes Minecraft. Appreciate your I was gonna say 2 cents, but I should say $2.
Yeah. So Skate. Is there another one coming out? Am I wrong on this?
Or I think there is
another one, or is it another skating game? I can't remember.
Xbox Series X. I think there is a new one because let me see. There's maybe not.
There's some kind of skating board game.
Skate 4, right? Yeah, Skate 4 is coming out.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Yep, Skate 4 is on its way. It's on its. What is it? Here comes Skate 4. Here comes Skate 4. Right down. No. Sorry. All right, moving on.
Came back. That was terrible.
It's send a donation back. Chris sucks. Okay, so getting back, quick resume is an awesome feature. Yes, I generally agree with that for sure.
And obviously Game Pass. Right.
Yeah, Game Pass is cool. It does cost money every month, which is a negative for me, but obviously can't do it without making money. So You said the quick resume is good. You bought it because of Halo and Fable.
Yeah,
Is there
so
anything
backwards
else?
compatibility, my
Backwards
existing
compatibility.
library, which is the backwards compatibility, but quick resume and Game Pass. I mean, and the thing is, like, how long have I had it now? 2 years? Those are all still the same reasons why I love it today.
You've got about a year and a half in, I think, on it.
Okay.
Because I managed to get it like a few months after it came out. It's like January, February or something.
Okay.
It was after Christmas, I'm pretty sure. I don't think it was
Yeah,
before Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's something I want to point out, though. For anybody that has an Xbox One, like those features are basically all there except Quick Resume. Quick Resume is really the only feature that doesn't exist in some capacity on the Xbox One. So realistically, what you're doing is you're buying the next iterative Xbox forward. And the reason you do that is because of the convenience. Something that I was pointing out to Andrew, like the reason you get an Xbox instead of a PC, because most people don't want to dive into PC gaming, and I don't blame them. I don't like PC gaming personally. I think it's kind of a pain in the butt to keep up with, to understand what you need. And the fact is, yes, you can upgrade a PC every single year, but for that same amount of money, I can buy a brand new console most of the time.
And also, you think about it, like I already have a TV, so I already have a dedicated space where I could stick my console, which is convenient. But then, for a PC, I'd have to have a computer. I'd actually have a room for it and like a monitor. So there's a lot that goes into it, which I just don't have. I don't really have space. Like right now, I'm on my kitchen table, so like I don't have a dedicated space that I could put a PC, which is part of the decision making.
We're a highly versatile podcast.
Yes. I mean, we have filmed this like on our phones. We filmed this in a hotel in the woods. In your case,
on an iPad.
Yes.
Pretty much on any device that was available at the time. That was whatever the best device is. That's the device to do it.
And there's been times when I've had dedicated space for the podcast too.
Yeah. And you had a green screen for a little while too that you haven't put back up.
Nah.
I don't think you really can right now with your current setup.
I probably could. I probably could figure it out, but.
The one thing that I find interesting is the scalping for the Xbox Series X has really slowed down. Part of it, I think, is the availability. Like Microsoft has somehow gotten a whole bunch of refurbished units that they were able to sell off for a minute. And then I look on eBay, and there's ones as low as $550 right now. You're only looking at scalping $50 over MSRP. That's pretty low.
Yeah.
The real question is there a Halo edition that's actually in a reachable price?
Probably not.
But here's the real question.
Fable one.
Xbox Series S. Do you think that is a viable console into the far future?
I think with Xbox's current strategy, if they don't deviate for the next 5 to 6 years, yes. So I think that it's fine. It's obviously underpowered. It's like sort of underpowered compared to the One
kind of
X
on purpose.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a cheaper console. It was at entry level price. So I get that. But the cool thing with Xbox is that because it's an ecosystem, they're actually going to just build up the cloud gaming platform. So even when that gets left behind, you're going to end up having the same power because they're just going to have it doing like their own Xbox is doing it for you.
I want the full Xbox. Is that the documentary? The Xbox documentary to play on the PS4?
I think so, yes.
I want them to allow external Blu-ray players on the Xbox Series S. And even the X. Honestly, every console should just allow USB Blu-ray.
Yeah.
If they could figure out a way to do it.
I will say, so I got my brother the Series S, and his one complaint was that it immediately ran out of space.
Yeah, 512, that's not very much.
Yeah, but what I point out to him is that most games can play in the cloud there. Like, and his internet is fast enough that it's okay. It's not perfect, but it does work okay.
My internet is allegedly fast enough, but I've never had a good experience with it.
It's tough because like when I played here, it was okay, and there's only like a little bit of lag, and depending on the game. So like Sea of Thieves, laggy as hell, but like Batman Arkham City or whatever was fine, or Arkham Knight was fine.
It also depends on how well optimized it is for the cloud.
True.
And a more popular game will be more optimized.
Oh, like Forza was beautiful. I did not download that game, and it worked perfectly.
I haven't actually not played the newest Forza. Yeah, believe it.
Oh my gosh, just launch it and start it. It's you literally the game starts with you jumping out of a plane and driving down a freaking volcano. It is freaking awesome.
Oh, here we go. Yep. If the Series S could have a Blu-ray player, it would be a really good deal for me. At least if they add the Blu-ray, it won't be a Warzone machine for me, but a Warzone and 4K Blu-ray machine.
Yes.
Yes. I think in mid-gen they should make a Series X digital for 400 with the same power and storage, but just remove the disk drive, which could make it a bit smaller. I mean, they probably will. I'm not gonna lie. They probably will do that. Just like we had the Xbox Series S all digital, the Xbox SAD, last generation. I would not be surprised. Now, here's the next question, Will. Do you think that the features available at the price point they're selling it at make it worthwhile for you?
For me, yes. It was worthwhile. And it's tough because I think the Series S is a great price point for people who are PlayStation owners. So like that's your main console, like you're heavily invested in the PlayStation exclusives, but you want to have a system that you can get all the third-party games and also dabble in some of the Xbox games. I think that's a perfect console for them. It's tough because I don't know, I'm in love with all the Xbox franchises. I have a very biased view. But yeah, it was definitely worth the price. I use it every day for streaming services, for the Game Pass, for my existing catalog of games. I like the controller. I like the overall look of the interface. So yeah.
Now, unlike the PS5, I will say I think when it comes to Xbox, there is almost no reason to go back and get an Xbox One.
No,
because you're not. The only thing you really lose out on, unless you're in that crowd of people that like the Kinect, there's really nothing you're losing by just going ahead and getting an Xbox Series S or X.
No, every single
other
game
than
on
the
Xbox One is backwards compatible, other than the Kinect games. Yeah.
So the funny story we got into, me and Andrew, and I didn't actually know this going into the conversation, but I kind of learned it throughout when we were talking about whether the PS5 was worth it, is that the PS5, there's a lot of games that have a $10 upgrade fee to go from PS4 to PS5. And there's these double disc editions where it's a PS4, PS5 copy is in the case for an extra, is $70 or $80 instead of 60 or 70. And to me, it's that almost promotes you keeping a PS4 more so than encourages you to get a PS5.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's a very unusual marketing strategy.
Now, unless they're doing that on purpose to make sure that all PS5 owners are brand new owners for some reason, I guess that might make sense because you're not diluting your ecosystem by having people have a PS4 and a PS5 and selling games once instead of twice. I don't know. Yeah, it just seems odd. The whole process to move your hard drive from a PS4 to a PS5 is 1,000 times more complicated than Microsoft's version to get from Xbox One to Xbox Series S or X. I think if you're going out and buying an Xbox today, right now, there is zero incentive to go backwards and get an Xbox One.
Nope.
There is some incentive to get a 360 because you get a wider range of original Xbox compatibility, but there's zero reason to go get the Xbox One right now.
No, yeah,
unless it's just cheaper.
Yeah, but it isn't. Reason. It's all the ones I'm seeing is still priced very high, and you might as well just either wait and save up for the next one, or sometimes it's the same price as the new Xbox, so just get the new Xbox.
Yeah, I've seen some Halo 5 editions go for around Xbox Series S prices.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then on top of that, there's literally zero impact to your game library. So if you have discs and you want to play them and they run on the Xbox One, they'll run on the Xbox Series S. No, they won't. They'll run on the Xbox Series X. They will not run on the. You can try as you might. They will not run on the Series S.
Yes.
All right. Here's some next questions. So, what are some things you don't like about the Xbox Series X? Maybe the size would be a reason. It's kind of an odd size.
It's an unusual shape, so it doesn't fit in my current setup very well. But I mean, I don't know. It doesn't lay down very well, so I guess that's one problem. You basically have to stand it up for it to ventilate properly. I know that you can have it on its side, but it definitely does better standing up and not within an enclosed space because it runs super hot. It's meant to do that because it's getting rid of the heat, but It does run very hot. As far as complaints, I don't have a whole lot.
Is it very loud?
No, it's completely silent. I don't hear it at all.
Yeah, 'cause my PS4 Pro, when I don't clean it for a long time, goes in jet engine mode.
No, I never hear the Xbox is completely silent. I will say that it occasionally doesn't connect to my speakers very well for some reason. And also
you were
connect to my headphones, which is an unusual problem I didn't have before.
And do you plug them into your controller, or are they Bluetooth?
I've tried both ways, and it doesn't work. So like these ones will not connect to my Xbox, and I don't know why. Claire's does though.
The preferential treatment.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so here's the next question. Obviously, the exclusives question comes up a lot. So let's just say I have a mid to high end PC. Should I get an Xbox?
No. I mean, it depends. If you want a console, then yeah. But if you are okay just playing on your computer, you can
just looking for the most optimal. Like if you already have a high end PC and you're just looking for the most optimal way to play games, obviously going to go buy another console probably not worth it.
No, just play on your Xbox. Or sorry, play on your PC. You can play all the Xbox games, at least the new ones there. Many of the backwards compatible ones now too. And then you also get Steam and everything. So obviously the PC is the better option at that point.
My Xbox sounds like a jet, but that's when I have Halo open for a month. That would do it.
Interesting. I mean, I guess I haven't had Halo open for a month in a while, so I guess maybe I'm not thinking. But I will say, what game was it? Oh, it was Biomutant. Made my Xbox Series X run so hot. It actually started to warp the shelf a little bit. Yeah, so I had to take it out and put it like out in the open because it was running so hot. It's just that game
I know that plays that game.
I think I am the only other person that plays it. Actually, the thing is that game sold pretty well. I think it sold like 2 million.
No, you're the only person that I know that plays that game.
Yeah.
So the PS4 has a similar issue. I don't know if you know this, but a lot of original PS4 games when they first came out never got any kind of HD upgrades when they got the PS4 Pro. So what Sony did was they unlocked the frame rate. So you could leave the frame rate unlocked on like Infamous Second Son. And I've talked about this before. I'm curious what a PS5 would do with this game if they left the frame rate unlocked, because literally my PS4 would be hitting like the highest amount of frames per second I've ever seen for any game when it comes to Infamous, and like it just like the whole time, like it's the loudest freaking noise.
Yeah. No, even like when it was running that hot, it didn't make any noise, but man, you could feel the heat, and I was like, oh my gosh, like there's something clearly wrong with the Xbox, but it didn't do it with any other game. So it was just for whatever reason that game did not want to run in the system.
I usually put my consoles aside the TV. This gen, I began to put them behind the TV. A friend lent me his Xbox Series S, and it fit perfectly behind my TV, my Bravia TV, but the PS4 didn't. The Series S was that much smaller that it actually fit back there.
The Series S is like yay big.
I know it's not very big, but the PS4s aren't that big either.
Oh, it's way smaller than PS4 though.
Or maybe just Francisco saying,
like
hold on.
A box of cookies.
I'm trying to understand if he's saying that it wouldn't fit, like you could see it, or it wouldn't fit, like physically you could not fit it back there. That's what I'm wondering. Because maybe he could just see the PS4 when he tried to put it behind.
So this is like, I have like a napkin holder. This is what the Series S is like.
I know so I know how small it is. Trust me.
I was shocked. Like I've seen it in display cases and stuff, but when I actually got it from my brother, it's just like, is this it?
It's a weighty little thing, though.
Yeah, it's super heavy.
I couldn't believe how heavy it was. I picked one up the other day to just hold and see what it was like. And I was like, oh, my Steam Deck's gonna be about this heavy. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. My brother's jealous of my Series X though, because he's like, mine is bigger.
If you want the biggest console this gen, though, you gotta get a PS5.
I know, that thing is massive.
Like the only console in history that I know of that was heavier than the PS5 is the PS3 original system. I mean, those things are, I think, 12 pounds. You could actually do like when you're actually do like a light workout with that. No, you don't want to do that. You break the console.
Yes.
Speaking of which, you said Fable. You mentioned Halo. All of these games are also available on PC. But if you want the no nonsense, no fuss edition, then you can easily get a console and never have to worry about updates, graphics cards, drivers, etc., etc.
You still don't have to worry about that on the PC now because they do a lot of like the cloud updates or something. So like my laptop, although I have a gaming laptop, it's obviously not the most powerful one, and the games play completely fine on my computer.
Oh, okay. So it just enhanced with the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I do not understand how the system works anymore. It went from I understood all the things that they're like putting into Game Pass to like suddenly one day everything changed and there was no like real update about it. They had no news articles that suddenly like everything was on the cloud. Everything just like was upgraded. Everything looked much better. Very strange.
Yeah, I will say with the ecosystem improvements, like with Microsoft's Windows app ecosystem improvements, with Steam's ecosystem being better than Microsoft's ever was, they are coming closer to converging between being about the same quality. Yeah. And the higher the quality we get to with Xbox, the better you're going to get with updates, with compatibility, with everything on PC. Now, I don't know if you know this, but the Xbox Series X is technically the cheapest Office 365 machine you can get.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess
kind of
that would make sense.
Because you can, I mean, let me rephrase that. You can still get like really light notebooks or netbooks that are cheap, but those won't run it very well. But you can hook up a keyboard and a mouse to your Xbox Series X, load up 365 in the browser, and literally do Word, Excel, and everything else. Did you know that you can actually use it as an office machine?
I mean, that makes sense. You can definitely go in the browser. So just that alone should be able to do it.
Well, they upgraded the browser significantly enough that you could do that. Oh, it has a browser. PS5 doesn't.
Yeah.
PS5 doesn't, because they didn't want people to get Game Pass on xCloud on their PS5s.
Phil Spencer is going to figure that out. He's going to get an app in there somehow.
So funny story, Mr. Demicrow. I do believe that you can actually access the Steam Link software through the browser somehow. Just try and see if you can figure that one out. I haven't figured it out yet, but I also haven't been trying.
Mm-hmm.
I can ask my boss for a Series X like a work. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do it up. So that's something pretty neat, I think. I've never seen a console that could actually dual, a legit console that can dual as an office machine.
Yeah.
The Series X technically can. Kind of.
Yeah.
Not perfect, but good. All right, next question for you. Do you think remote play is a worthwhile feature?
Yeah, I've used it all the time. So it's not something I would pay separately for, like to specifically have that feature, just because at the end of the day, I don't need it. And I prefer like hard copy games. Like most of my gaming is just what I have on in my Xbox at the time. But like remote play, like I've played on my phone, I've played on my computer, and the thing is, I've actually played on my computer at my brother's house, so he could play on the Xbox via remote play, and it was really cool, and it worked pretty well. And it's technically a free feature for me because I already have Game Pass. Yeah, so I don't have my clip with me, but I have a clip for my phone too.
I got the Nimbus Plus, the official Apple one.
Yeah, so I didn't get a special controller. I can just use my Xbox controller, but
yeah, that is another nice feature because the Xbox, although I think PlayStation the same way, but Xbox didn't actually start out making Bluetooth controllers. If you got an original Xbox One controller, those are all like I think some form of 2.4 gigahertz technology, so straight up Wi-Fi. But all the new ones are Bluetooth. And I'll tell you what, you know the reason why a lot of companies were using 2.4 gigahertz? Lower lag.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Bluetooth always introduces a little more lag than 2.4 gigahertz. Not enough that it's noticeable anymore, but if you're talking like old school Bluetooth, you would definitely see a problem. So the Bluetooth got better and faster. People were more willing to use Bluetooth.
Okay.
But yeah, the Xbox, technically the fastest input for a wireless Xbox One controller is the OG ones because of the 2.4 gigahertz. So if you're a competitive player, you're probably using USB anyways, right? But if you're a competitive player and you want to use a wireless, you're better off getting an OG.
That's a laughable explanation for me because I suck. I would never be competitive. It doesn't matter.
Like, that one extra shot at getting cut.
I know exactly. That's what it was, and now I know.
If I could have got one more shot, I would have beat the boss.
Yes.
Yeah, here's the other thing. Oh, yeah, I forgot about the PS3 having Linux. So technically speaking, Linux would have given you some form of a desktop suite.
Okay.
kind of. So I guess the PS3 was kind of an office machine. It was also used for like military application. It like put a whole bunch of them together. It was like 900 or so, maybe more. And they linked them all together and used the cell processor, which has like
And then they
stackable
blew a
CPU
bunch of shit up.
with like stackable CPU architecture. And basically the way it would work, you could like parallel all these machines. But yeah, the Series X is not touching that configuration. That's definitely not part of it. Let me ask the next question then, Will. Is there any reason for somebody to own multiple Xboxes? I know last gen people would.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would make some sense if you had more than one kid. It's tough because I never had more than one console at a time as like growing up. So like I always found a way of working around it, like rotating the schedule with my brothers or always getting a game that we could play together. And it's tough because you can play it on your phone now or on a laptop. So it's like, yeah, you know, Johnny's on the Xbox, but Sally can still go play on the PC or something, you know. Yeah, I can see there being a reason to have more than one. Again, if you have like another kid, you can get them the Series S or something.
Have like an S in your bedroom and an X in your
Yeah, if you're someone who goes to multiple rooms and plays, yes. I'm not someone like that. So I can see that being a really convenient option to having more than one.
Now, I know Microsoft is looking at adding xCloud and Xbox Game Pass apps to like smart TVs. Straight up adding them.
Yes.
Do you think that adds value to the Series X or lessens the value?
I mean, technically it lowers the value because, you know, there's less and less of a reason to just buy the Series X outright. But again, that's not what Microsoft's all about. They're going for the ecosystem. So if you're in the ecosystem, they don't give a shit. They're giving you a billion options to be in the ecosystem. So you can have the most powerful console, or you can have it on your TV, or you can have it on your phone, or you can have it on your PC, or eventually it's going to be on the Switch.
We'll see. We'll see about that one. That's a console I can see a point of having multiple of because the Switch is dockable and you can have one dock and like 4 switches, right? Yeah, you got 4 kids, 4 switches, 1 dock. I mean, I probably won't do that, but I could see people doing that.
Yeah.
All right. So Xbox obviously isn't getting into the VR game anytime soon. Are you nervous or upset that VR is going to take over and then the PlayStation will have VR and Xbox won't?
So I was more nervous last generation with the VR stuff and Xbox not having anything. But honestly, I think it's going to be a niche for a long time. I don't think we're there yet. It's way more intrusive than normal gaming. So like gaming, you can just pick up your Xbox. It can be social, and like VR is just not. It's the headsets are uncomfortable. Like I get super dizzy, and like I get super sweaty, and so it's just uncomfortable for me to wear them.
A Series X for the main room, a Series S for the bathroom.
Exactly.
You get one of those like TV mirrors where the mirror has the TV in it.
Have you ever seen that? I don't remember what the show is now, but like it essentially is this a really rich guy. He has a ton of TVs like lining his hallway. So he leaves the main room, like the main living room, walks down the hallway. The TVs keep turning on right in front of him. So he never misses the game. And it's all the way into his bathroom. And then he just goes back. Like that's how you're playing your games.
Yeah. You could have a set like that, but it wouldn't do it automatically. Like, not that I know of automatically. But
that's pretty cool.
You just have to have like a really, really large amount of outputs for one input.
Yeah.
A lot. I mean, that's insane. I can't imagine having that many TVs connected up at once. Yeah, for the bathroom, that's great. You open up the medicine cabinet. There's a Series S in there.
It's right on top of the toilet.
It's inside the toilet bowl, so nobody can see it. Waterproofed. Good to go. Electricity and water always makes sense.
Oh, it runs pretty hot, so it warms the toilet seat for you as you're going.
Oh my gosh. All right. Next question. If you get a Series X, do you think that you will find yourself wanting for other consoles? Is it an
I already want the PlayStation. So yeah. So PlayStation is always has a super strong first party exclusive game. And they just keep making new ones too. So they're not even relying on old IPs necessarily. So they do obviously have their repeat IPs, but they come out with a new one every couple of years, and they're always really good.
They do.
And yeah, so as I don't necessarily have like a PlayStation envy or something, but I definitely want to play those games. So I will eventually have the PlayStation. Yeah. I just wish they had a similar option to the Series S. So if they had like a PlayStation S or whatever, where it was digital only, even not just like the $50 cheaper one or the $100 cheaper one, but a much cheaper console which can still play the games. Maybe it's a little bit less powerful. I would have already bought it.
Technically speaking, the PS4 can remote play PS5.
Well, technically speaking, I would get the PlayStation 4 if I could freaking find it.
I sent you links.
Yeah, but they're so expensive and they go up in price as soon as you bid on them. So I'm the kind of
there was a PS4 Pro. I'm not going to say when, but I'd send it to you, and it was $200. Buy it now.
Yeah, well, I want to go in and I want to buy it. I want to see it. I want to be able to smell the console. See how dusty it is.
And from my understanding, VR uses open source libraries, and Microsoft doesn't like that. That's probably true.
Probably true.
Now, the other thing he brings up, I always thought Microsoft was going to use the HoloLens with gaming more.
Yeah. Yep. I thought when the HoloLens was first announced, it was super cool. I love the ad. It was obviously overselling it. The HoloLens 2 is still super cool. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I just don't care. If it ends up being like an AR thing, like augmented reality, where it's more of just like the Google glasses, so they're much smaller, and I could play outside, super appealing to me.
I still think augmented reality is more likely to take over entertainment than VR, because AR can be very social, whereas VR can't really. I mean, it is, but it isn't, because you can do the VR chat rooms and stuff, but you don't know who's behind that furry fox costume.
Also, you have those massive goggles on. You're strapped into something. You can't move, and you see all those pictures of people punching their TVs and stuff. It's like, I do not want to be in that situation.
I get hardcore Matrix vibes.
Yeah, well, it's like with like augmented reality. Think about if
Francisco's on the same page as me.
Yes, exactly. I would totally do that if I could get inserted to the Matrix. That'd be awesome. But in the meantime, if you have like $100 glasses, so like a relatively cheap price point, you just put them on. You can have a whole bunch of buddies have them, and you go outside, and you can play like a version of Halo in a field. Oh my gosh, I would be in heaven. I would never come back inside.
they could sell games as like literal physical packs. Like you wear a backpack with a gun, that's your Halo pack. Yeah, you could get like an axe, that could be your Minecraft AR pack.
Oh man, that'd be so cool.
You could get I don't know, a sea captain's hat, that could be your Sea of Thieves.
Yep,
that one probably wouldn't work as well unless you're in a boat.
I'm sure that someone can figure out games that would work within that setting, but it would be so good.
See, I'm picturing like AR Pokemon.
Yeah,
Pokemon Go is cool, but HoloLens Pokemon would be cooler.
Yeah, and you just have a glove that's like thin and actually like makes it like it triggers the nerves or like vibrates or whatever to make it feel like you're holding onto the ball so you can throw it. That'd be so cool. Come on.
See, I also like the idea of playing Halo with the HoloLens on your console and having like HUD information show up on the lens, but not on the TV. It's like when you're playing the game, all you see on the TV is just literally open. Yeah,
well, if you still just have like just glasses, and it's essentially like it works sort of like the Wii U gamepad does. So like again, you're still in the room, you're still able to socialize with other people. You're not being taken out of it completely. Like if they figured out that technology, it'll take off.
The HoloLens was aimed for pro things, industry things. They counted it like a failure. The HoloLens with use was aimed to a niche. Yeah, I agree with that. Mm-hmm. Now, the other thing that I found interesting was that do you know that the PlayStation VR headset and the Kinect, people have used those, like, I think it was those two together. They were using them to make like 3D builds in like a AR space almost. It was like you could see with the VR headset on the table.
Oh, yeah, that's the HoloLens.
The Kinect would use. Yeah. No, was it the HoloLens? Okay. Yes. Maybe it was the HoloLens in the Kinect. But essentially, the idea was the Kinect has all those sensors for like seeing the physical objects in the room with all the dots and the like echolocation looking thing where it can see everything in the room and kind of map it out. And then with the HoloLens,
have you seen the videos of the original Kinects and what they could do?
They were really freaking cool.
Oh,
there's a new Kinect coming out.
There's another one coming out.
Yeah, it's more like an industrial application, but
I've seen them in science centers where they have like interactive games and stuff in science centers. It's kind of funny to see them.
Yeah, the Azure Kinect developer kit. They're still making new Kinect. Here, I'll show you. They're really expensive. Yeah, they're like $1,200.
Interesting.
Yeah, these are mostly for like industry.
Yeah, well, I mean, they slap these things on robots now.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see, Real Sense. Yeah, I think they are open sourcing the Kinect technology a little bit, but they're still pretty.
This is part of the reason why I don't think Xbox is going to get into VR anytime soon, is because they feel burned from this.
Watch out, guys. They bought the Azure Kinect in June 2020, and it was working for 3 months, but now it's dead. Watch out. Azure Kinect is dead. I love the title. The Azure Kinect is dead. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, you could use it for like movies, motion capture device too. That'd be pretty cool. And Nintendo 3DS. Yeah, the augmented reality cards. That was interesting. I don't know if you know what they're talking about, but they essentially used to sell with the original 3DS games, like these augmented reality cards, and you could put them on the table. And when you scan it with a 3DS camera, it would create a figure in front of you on the screen.
I didn't know that was the thing. That's really cool.
Yeah, Nintendo was really ambitious with the 3DS when they first released it. Way more ambitious than I ever gave them credit for. Just for fun, since we're already here, how much are the Xbox Series X's getting scalped for nowadays?
Oh, yeah, you need to buy one, Chris. You probably could get one from GameStop nowadays.
Probably. They're getting there. Yeah, I mean, see, look, they're coming down in price. Look at this one. $559.
Yeah.
$530. I mean, that's 2 controllers.
Yeah.
They're coming way down in price. They're actually getting close to like the point where scalpers aren't making enough money to continue scalping. What? Halo?
Buy it right now.
$550? What?
That's what it cost new.
I know. Where the heck are they finding these?
I don't know. Look at the description. Just the box.
No, legit. Oh, man.
Buy it, Chris. Do it.
If I didn't just buy the retro USB APS.
See, you're wasting your money.
Maybe it's because Halo is like not doing well. People are like, nah, I don't want this anymore. Oh, geez. Here's the question. Yeah, I've seen this too. I've seen the Series S as low as like $225 brand new. If Microsoft's goal this generation is just flood the market with Xboxes, they are succeeding.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Xbox One was it wasn't a flop. They still made money and stuff, but flop as far as like compared to the PS4. This is one way of doing it, is just making sure everyone gets it and then pay for Game Pass.
Yeah, it's a constant stream of money at that point.
Yeah.
There you go, Will. Get the decal Xbox. That looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
I would not buy that.
No, the decals, like, sometimes they look okay, but a lot of times they look just terrible.
I just, no thank you. Let me get the chief in the shower from the TV show. That's what I want on my console. Stupid. I honestly, like, that whole situation made no sense to me, but we can talk about that later.
It would have made sense if that was the end of the series, like the end of this season. I would have been like, oh, yeah, okay, I get this now. But no.
Well, then they had another one do the same thing. It was bizarre.
Yeah.
They can get a PS5.
Booty. Oh, but speaking of a good movie, you should go see The Northman.
I've been watching Starship Troopers Roughnecks, the CGI animated series from the late 90s that apparently inspired a lot of the character design for Halo.
I'm willing to bet that The Northman is better than that.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying if you want to see where Halo gets a lot of its art design from.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know there's a lot of similarities between those two, and also obviously Alien and Predator.
I have the Chief bath screenshot as a wallpaper.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're probably a much happier person for that. No. All right,
but not Pablo Schreiber. It's actually why am I blanking on
Steve Downs?
Steve Downs in the shower.
I don't know where you got that picture. You can hang out by his house.
Exactly.
Like, you got Pablo Shrine? No.
No. I'm OG.
Him and Phil Spencer together. I got both of them.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you do that? I don't know.
You don't want to know.
Took a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
Had to bribe Don Matrick a bunch of money.
Yes.
God. Okay, next meme. No, next question. If you were going to go to the store right now and buy an Xbox, would you buy a Series S or a Series X, and why?
X, because the discs.
Is it worth the additional $200?
It is for me because I have games already.
So somebody on the fence that doesn't have
No, get the Series S.
No matter what, you're saying that anybody on the
it just depends on what you want out of it. Oh man,
that's great. Yeah. Just for those that are listening on audio, OG fan, I just want to count the wrinkles in his cheeks from our buddy over here. That's one of the chats. That's why we're laughing so hard.
So I would say the Series S for most people, just because honestly, yeah, it's not as powerful. I don't see much of a difference. There's a slight difference, but for most games, it's just not going to matter. You get Game Pass still. You still get access to the cloud, quick resume, all those things. It just depends. If you like physical media, obviously get the Series X because that's the only other option. So I like physical media. I like buying actual games. I have lots of old games. So yeah.
Look at these Marines, man. They just straight up like UNSC Marines. Hold on.
You gotta bring them up so I can see it. Oh yeah. Well, maybe Halo inspired this.
No.
They went back in time. I know it's the timeline. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, look at those Marines, man. It really looks like Halo. And when actually the you can watch it for free through the app Crackle. They have the rights to the show.
Crackle. Okay.
Yeah, Crackle it's free through Crackle. And essentially in the description it actually says watch the original CGI animated series that inspired Halo.
Wow, okay.
That's what it actually says. And I don't know if Crackle's like just trying to hype this show.
I think it is. I think like we paid more than $3 for this and we need to get our money back.
I will say it is enjoyable. It's not bad. It's not bad 90s sci-fi. Okay. So definitely go ahead and watch it for free on Crackle if you can get the Crackle app on whatever your device you're streaming on, and check it out. It is worth a watch. And it is straight up Starship Troopers. It's got everybody you expect. If you've ever watched Starship Troopers before.
I have. The very first time I watched that movie, I was watching with my dad, the first one.
And you got to the shower scene, right?
Got to the shower scene, and my mom walked in. She's like, "What are you exposing my baby to?" It's like, oh my gosh, what a terrible time for you to walk in.
Right. Yeah, I totally get that one, though. That's funny. And like a lot of the spaceships look a lot like Halo spaceships, too. Like there was definitely some inspiration.
Halo wasn't inspired by anything. It's truly unique.
And they got Steve Downes to voice. No, I'm just kidding. Can you imagine if Steve Downes is voicing characters in this show before he voiced the Master Chief? Oh, man. Okay. So let's back it up. Why don't I have a Series X? Let's ask that question. Well, because the Xbox One can do everything that my Series X would be able to do so far.
Until you get a taste of that quick resume. You'll never go back.
It'll play everything that I want to play.
Yeah.
We bashing this show yet? No, Starship Troopers Roughnecks is a great show, free on Crackle. Definitely watch that. I'm not bashing that show. It's definitely worth your time. It inspired Halo, Dan. Thank you. Or am I early? Are we bashing the show? We're not bashing the show, man. No, thank you. We did that 2 times already. We're not going to do it a third. We never stop. Oh, my gosh. Starship Troopers, the book. Yeah, the book's good, too. Yeah.
I've not read it.
I have it. You should borrow it and read it. All right. It's pretty dry, though. Like, compared to the movies and stuff, it's like a long form satire. It's like a 300-400 page book, I think.
Well, I would like to know more.
Would you like to know more? As far as the Series X, so the reason why I never got one was because I never could decide between the S and the X, because I'm probably going to keep my Xbox One regardless. So if I don't do discs next gen, then I'll still be able to play all my discs. So I don't know. Plus,
man.
it can't play Halo the Journey. Halo the Journey. Fable the Journey.
Fable the
Holy
Journey.
cow.
True. Yep. That's why I still have my 360. I have not beaten that game, by the way. I need to get back to that. It's still in the system.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I do need to get through it and play it. I'm trying to figure out a way where I can like capture myself playing Kinect games. I think that'd be really fun.
Oh, it looks ridiculous.
I know, but I still want to.
So dumb.
I did figure out how to connect my Wii motion sensor over to my screen so I can do Wii games on my streaming if I wanted to. But I'm still thinking like it's going to look like this. Then it's going to look stupid, but that's okay. I'll deal with it. It's all good. Wii Motion Plus. How does it do as a Blu-ray player? The Xbox Series X. Do you ever use it for that?
I've never had any problems. I will say, so I just recently accidentally bought some region-locked Blu-rays.
Ooh.
And I was like, oh, shit. Because I buy Canadian Blu-rays all the time.
Are they cheaper or something?
Cheap. Oh, yeah, okay. They're much cheaper. But I accidentally bought European discs this time. And I was like, oh, crap, what am I going to do? You can take the region lock off the Xbox.
Really?
Off the Blu-ray player. Yeah, I had no idea.
Like change it or like
it's super simple. You just like follow a couple of instructions on their like they're not WikiHow, but they're instructions online, and you can unlock it.
Huh. That's a super nice feature, actually.
Yeah, I don't know if that's common, like if everything has that nowadays or what, but not just switch over. You mean like switch over to the new region? Maybe that's what I'm doing. I don't know. I got it. The disc went from not playing to playing, so.
Yeah, I thought you could change the Xbox region like a few times, and then it was like stuck in whatever region you're in after the certain number of times.
That would be really unfortunate because I don't know if that's true. And I only have currently 2 discs. No, I guess it would be
that
3 discs. That would be your
the Xbox One. I don't honestly, or the PS4. It might be a last gen console that was that way, but I know I've never changed the region on mine because I was nervous about that.
Uh-huh. Yeah, well, I immediately was like, oh crap! I did not realize that these were the wrong region. No wonder they're so cheap.
Ooh, you know what? You know what console probably will be compatible with a Blu-ray player? The Steam Deck.
Maybe.
I bet with that USB-C, you could probably get a Blu-ray player hooked up to it.
I agree with this, by the way. Anyone for every region.
Just kidding. You gotta get the Halo MCC version from China.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they didn't really have a lot of custom edition Xbox Ones, comparatively speaking. It didn't feel like it anyways. And the only one we've gotten with Halo or with Xbox Series X so far has been Halo. I think there was a couple like contest ones that like obviously nobody's gonna get, but Blu-ray is region blocked today. Is weird that a disc is region blocked. Usually things like Criterion Collection style are region locked. You know what made me angry? Speaking of region locks, Dead Rising Collection. The best version of all the Dead Rising games was available in Europe for the 360 and I think the just the 360 as a collection. It's like I want that, but I also can't use it at all. So
yeah, that sucks. I don't understand region locks. Like you buy the dang thing, I should be able to play it wherever, you know. It's especially when it's sold in multiple markets. So like I guess I sort of get it if it's only sold in one market. But it was like I bought the Spider-Man movie collection, like the European version apparently. It's like I can get that here. I just accidentally bought the European version. I should be able to just use it either way.
You know what's funny is Spider-Man will still work in an Xbox, even though PlayStation and Sony own Spider-Man.
Like you mean the movie?
Yeah. I just want to buy you a product and you are not letting me buy it. But yeah, basically that's what they're doing. I want to buy your product, but I can't because you're not letting me.
It's stupid.
Well, that's like, I mean, there's localization efforts. It's weird. There are localization of games that will happen, and then they'll only happen for one version of the games. Like, for example, Catherine Full Body came out to PlayStation, Switch, and Vita. And for some reason, even with the localization already done, they never released the Vita version. Like, how dumb is that? Like, they have a full-blown localization done. Mm-hmm. I mean, they literally took that, and fans made the PS Vita version English and brought it over. So like anybody that wants to have Catherine full body on the Vita can through jailbreak.
Yeah. Well, think about it. It's like even more ridiculous for like a European version of something, because a lot of times those are still in English first, and then they localize it for whatever country they're selling it in there.
Right.
But if I just get the generalized English version or the generalized European version, a lot of times it's already in English. So like, why is that region locked? It's like you don't need to change the language. I already understand the language.
Right. So, Will, we need to talk about this. Look at that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Why haven't you bought it? Get it.
Apparently, they're being bought in droves. There was 2 left. Now there's 1 left. I can't believe that. Like, those are so much lower than the. This has got to be a freaking scam. I mean, look, 810, 690. There's no how these can't be freaking real. There's no way.
This is why I like just going to the store and getting it.
There's no way these are real.
Because then when the system fails, I can go back to Phil or whoever is at the cash register and say, like, Phil, this is your fault.
Holy cow. This item is eligible for up to $100,000 in business equipment purchase protection. What the heck? What the heck? Let's see the feedback rating on this seller. I just feel like this can't be real. Hold on.
Chris, there's only one way to find out.
0. Oh, yeah, these are fake. Look, 0. They have no ratings. Yeah, I don't trust that. Yeah, make sure when you buy from eBay, you pick a seller that has sold things before, especially when the deal seems too good to be true. That is my tip of the day for using eBay.
So, question for you, Chris. If you had a Series X and a PlayStation 5 right next to each other in the store, which one are you picking up?
I just found out there's a new Infamous game coming. Potentially.
All right, so is that the one you're going to get? Can you get the PlayStation?
Probably the PlayStation only because of Infamous. If I knew for a fact Infamous isn't coming, I'm getting an Xbox.
Okay, well, say that, you can't buy any new games after this point. The only games you get are the ones that exist. Which one are you picking up?
Probably the Xbox, because I do subscribe to Game Pass and I have a lot of backwards compatibility titles. Versus my PlayStation 4 still plays all of my games.
Sure.
And my PlayStation 3 plays all of my 3, 2, and 1 games from the PlayStation's side. And there's nothing else on PlayStation that is even remotely intriguing to me. So until we get a lock in that there's going to be a Persona game on the PS5 or something like that, I have no reason to buy one. Like Soul Hackers is coming to Xbox. Like, that's awesome. It's a Shin Megami Tensei game coming to the Xbox. That hasn't happened in a long time, which means that Microsoft has really pursued a good position with JRPGs this generation. I wouldn't be surprised if Soul Hackers is a day 1 Game Pass game.
Okay.
And that is another thing that Xbox, that's a huge advantage. If you're going to go in and get an Xbox, you'd be hard pressed to not have Game Pass at this point, because getting games day 1 when they come out, like you could try Halo and never pay for it. Well, you are paying for it, but you're not paying. You don't feel like you're paying for it. Because you're paying for Game Pass, that means you are putting money towards that. But for me, like the PlayStation, just for fun, there's not that many games, PlayStation and Xbox, that are exclusive to next gen.
No, there's very few. But it's mostly they switched a lot of them to the cross gen because of the availability.
Before 3 and Halo Infinite taught me that their studio management is bad. That's a fact.
I don't know what's going on with 343. I know they have very talented people. Like there's massive sparks with this game where I can see huge potential, but their management just sucks. I don't know what's going on.
I'll accept the cookies. Okay. So you got Scorn, Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl.
I think that one's been indefinitely delayed.
Oh, okay. Redfall. I heard that's pretty good. Arc 2. Well, considering how bad Arc 1 was when it launched and how bad it was for the longest time, it's just finally becoming like a real game. I'm not really thinking Arc 2.
But it has Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Don't you love Vin Diesel?
I like Fast and Furious. Forza, and then Starfield. Starfield's going to be Xbox exclusive, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be cool. That could be the sci-fi adventure that we're all missing this generation.
That's another
so
thing.
far.
Xbox freaking owns everybody now. So, I mean, they're going to have all the Bethesda games. So that's a ton of games.
Arc 2 is the Vin Diesel game. Family. Oh, it's amazing.
But so Bethesda games, but they also are still going ahead and getting Activision. So, I mean, they're going to have all those games.
Exploring Chernobyl exclusion zone has never been this fun. Well, I wonder if this game will get. Oh, this is the one you say that got delayed, right?
Yes, I think it.
I would bet that's probably.
Did it actually come out? Maybe I'm thinking of a different game.
I would be willing to bet that based on the current ongoings in the world, that there's a good chance this was delayed for that reason. And the release date hasn't happened yet. Well, it's 5 days away.
Yep. Look this up. I think that this game was indefinitely delayed.
I'm curious now. I would not be surprised if the current goings on in the world would prevent that game from coming out yet. Considering that Nintendo delayed Advance Wars supposedly for the same reason.
Also, I agree that Bethesda has a lot to prove. They've really been just sucking lately.
Not indefinite. It's coming out on December 8th, apparently.
Okay.
But yeah, probably delayed for the current goings on of the world.
Yep.
Redfall, Back for Blood meets Dracula.
This looks super weird. I'm not going to pick this one up.
Yeah, though the devs are from Ukraine too. That's probably true.
Okay.
Arc 2.
See.
Oh yeah, it is. What the?
I told you he was in the game.
What? Are you serious? What?
And he has a family, so it totally makes sense.
Is it just me, or does that girl look a little bit like Mila Kunis? Kunis, how you pronounce it?
Maybe it is her, the little girl.
That'd be an expensive game to produce. Vin Diesel and Mila Kunis.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way. Dude, what? I didn't even know Arc 2 was coming out. Now I gotta Google this. You're making me Google things mid-podcast. I just have no idea what's going on anymore.
Yeah, this is what you get for not looking at E3, man. This is like E3's 2 years
not
ago.
Even happening.
Oh, E3's canceled this year.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's not happening. Yeah, it was revealed at the Game Awards. Will I watch that? How did I miss
the
this?
Game Awards, whatever. It's like it all blends together in my head.
Whatever, man. Arc 2. Why do they need an Arc 2? Just upgrade Arc 1.
Because now they have Vin Diesel.
We got the Vin Diesel.
Mm-hmm.
We did it. We did it. We got Vin Diesel.
They spent all their money on getting Vin Diesel. They didn't make a game. It's just him.
It's just like, that's Bruce Willis.
So this one I'm kind of excited to see just because Horizon was so amazing. But Motorsport, they apparently rebuilt everything. Like, I think they rebuilt the entire engine for this one.
Francisco retitled the Game Awards for us. The Game AdWords.
Mm-hmm.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And when you're right, you're right. So we'll just give it to you. All right. Forza Motorsport, sometime 2022. And then Starfield. Obviously, Starfield is the one I'm most interested in.
Yep.
Now, apparently, this is going to be a Xbox Series X, PC, Xbox Series S exclusive, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're looking forward to Starfield, then Xbox is the home for you.
Yep.
All right, so let's get on to the final topic of this podcast.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to give you a couple scenarios, and you tell me whether the viewers should go get an Xbox Series X or not.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
An individual who has not played Xbox since the 360 era and is considering getting back into gaming, because there's a lot of Halo fans in that boat.
Yes. And my reasoning is because all those games are backwards compatible. Oh my gosh, compatible now. And if you haven't played for a while, it's a great jumping in point because of Game Pass. Because you get, it's like 400 or 500 games now on Game Pass.
How about somebody who went from the Xbox 360 to the PS4 because of how bad Don Matrick effed up the last generation reveal?
Series S, because the PlayStation 4 is still probably I don't know if it's necessarily superior to the Xbox Series X as far as total number of games you can get, but PlayStation 4 has so many great exclusives. So, and you can get all the PlayStation 5 games still on the PlayStation 4. So
Pretty much. There's very few PlayStation 5 games that won't play. Like I think Demon Souls is one of the few that won't play on the PS4. But
yeah, I would say get the Series S in that case.
Blinks 3 sold. Give me 5 Xbox. Do you remember Blinks? I hope you remember Blinks.
Yeah, the cat.
Yeah. Okay, third scenario. Somebody who switched from the Xbox to the PS3 because reasons, and now dropped gaming for the last decade, and now they're playing again.
Again, it's a similar situation. Like if you just want to get back into gaming and you're not like necessarily sold on any system, I'd still say Xbox just because of Game Pass. So I don't know how the new PlayStation version of that's going to work out. So
It's not good.
Okay, it was a weird setup, so it was confusing to me when they announced it. So like I was very confused.
They essentially have PlayStation got 3 tiers now: PlayStation Plus, PlayStation Plus Plus, and then PlayStation Plus Plus Plus. I don't know what the names are, but that's what we'll call them. The regular Plus is just like your online gaming, gives you your PS Plus games every month.
Mm-hmm.
The PS Plus Plus gives you like some kind of a PS Now streaming service. You get remote play with all 3 of these, by the way.
Okay.
And then the third one is like PS1, 2, and 3, PS Now. And we still don't know if that means you can put a PS3 disc into the console and play it. That's still a question.
So that's a problem.
But then you're locked behind a subscription tier in order to get that feature unlocked, which to me is just...
Yeah, well, the Xbox, you just get it. You don't need Game Pass with backwards compatibility. So that's really
exactly.
Cool.
So Xbox is definitely ahead of the game on that. And honestly, if it wasn't for PlayStation exclusives, there'd be almost no reason that I would recommend people go get a PlayStation over Xbox.
And the thing is, what's crazy is that, if Xbox actually... I realize they've really churned and burned some studios in the last 10 years or so, but if they do better, and I think 343 is just a holdover from before, but if they do better going forward, now they're acquiring these new studios and they're building new studios. In 5 years, they may have better exclusives, just period. And then it's just a better system altogether.
Oh, yeah. If Xbox ever got better exclusives, then it would be PC or Xbox. And then Sony would be a second-rate citizen to that. No doubt. Especially with Game Pass getting all these games day one.
Mm-hmm.
So another here, if you're trying to re-enter gaming and it's a cheap way with Series S and Game Pass, if you didn't like it again, you can sell the Series S and it could be a good try. That's true. You could always resell the console.
Yeah, or you can just get Game Pass on your laptop or something.
Try that out for a little bit.
Yeah, and be like, okay, well, this is still fun. I still enjoy gaming, and then get a console at that point.
What about somebody with a mid-tier PC that they don't game on?
Because they don't like gaming on it?
Just a mid-tier PC, they don't really game on it, and they want to do gaming.
I mean, I would say if you have the PC, I would just get Game Pass on that, and then buy a couple of the Sony exclusives that are now on PlayStation.
Well, to be honest, though, think about it this way, though. A mid-tier PC, you're thinking probably a terabyte, maybe 2 tops of data. That doesn't last. That doesn't go very far with a PC. I would almost say just for the lack of storage space for gaming, if you're not using it as a gaming PC, then you'd be in a pretty good spot to get a Series X and have that 1 terabyte for gaming, strictly for gaming. Next scenario, how about somebody who likes Kinect?
Well, obviously no, because there's nothing for you. The one weird person who's, in the podcast with me.
I guess what I'm saying is, like, let's say somebody bought a 360 for the Kinect, or like the Wii for Wii Sports. Should those guys honestly even consider this?
No. I mean, it just depends. If you're buying it for the Kinect or that kind of interactivity, then no.
That's kind of one of the things I thought was interesting about Microsoft's approach is let's just kill off all of our peripheral activity. Just remove it. I see no reason why you couldn't just shoehorn in the Kinect to play Xbox One Kinect games with a connector. Like, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's not forced to make it optional and let people use it.
Because I don't know. I don't think anyone wants to develop for it anymore.
So what? There's a lot of backwards compatible titles that you could have day one.
Yeah, this is extra tech that they're putting in there. Even if it's only like $1 per console, they don't want to waste the money on that.
It's USB converter. Just boom, sell it separate.
All right, call it Phil Spencer.
But Connect has Disneyland, Harry Potter Connect, and Sonic Free Riders. Should I buy a Series X or SNES in 2022? Well, let's be honest. It's going to be the Super Nintendo.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily get the Super Nintendo, but the SNES Classic, yes, because it comes with a bunch, and I really like that little thing.
Or you can spend about as much money as an Xbox Series X would cost you, or at least the S, and get the highest quality SNES output you've ever seen.
Yeah, well, that's part of the reason why I like the Xbox, because I instantly was access a ton of games, and then why I like the SNES Classic, because I didn't have to buy the original and then buy a bunch of extra games.
That's true. If you're already into an ecosystem, it's a lot harder to justify leaving it.
Yes, that's my problem with the PlayStation. It's like I would love to get a PlayStation with like 4 games, because there's 4 games in a one, and it's just annoying that I have to pay the same price for that game, and then when I have to pay full price for every game that I want.
You can just borrow mine sometime.
Oh, I will, and then I'll
play Spider-Man. No, you'll give it back, or else this
Spider-Man,
podcast is over. That's like, honestly, the PS4 is probably my favorite PlayStation console, just from the games I've enjoyed on it.
Mm-hmm.
I like the other PlayStation consoles, but I think I've probably spent the most time playing PlayStation 4 out of all the PlayStation consoles I've owned.
That's fair.
And I have put a lot of money too, but a lot of hours into the PlayStation 3 as well. That was actually my first experience with PlayStation, was PlayStation 3. I tend to always buy the losers every generation. It's just where I roll, GameCube, and then PS3,
birds of a feather and whatever,
Wii U. Just buy all the losers.
The Wii U was just great. The PlayStation 3 was a weird console. It ended up being really great, but it was just weird.
I think when the reveal of the Xbox Series X came out, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's a huge console," and then the PlayStation 5 rolls in, nope. Hold my beer.
That's why they can't make enough of them, because they have to mine an entire country for that stuff.
How do you feel about Xbox's strategy of buying preferred treatment for making chips? Did you hear about that?
Xbox explain this.
So apparently they're getting their chips from basically the same place. Slightly different process, same place. But Xbox apparently gave them a blank check to produce their consoles preferred.
Good. Use that money. I mean, what's the point of being a wealthy company if you're not going to swing your dick around a couple times? That's the whole point.
You're like, I'll drop $10 million to get preferential treatment.
Well, it's like, what's the point of making a profit?
Some executive at Foxconn just made $10 million.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's how you get a competitive edge. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have any issue with that necessarily. I just think it's funny that Microsoft in this day and age just basically bribed the company to make theirs more.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You can't beat us, PlayStation, if you don't have consoles.
Yeah, I mean, who they're really competing with? They're not competing with like some mom and pop person trying to buy those chips. They're competing with Sony, which is another multi-million-dollar company. So, I don't care.
Right, exactly. I don't really care either. I got no skin in this game.
And at the end of the day, I think Microsoft employs more Americans. So, we can even get into that where I prefer that Microsoft wins.
I don't know. PlayStation's headquarters is in the U.S. now.
That's fair. That is in the U.S. I still think Microsoft's a bigger company, though.
Microsoft is a bigger company, but is the Xbox division bigger than the PlayStation division? That I have no idea.
It might be now because they own all the freaking studios. So is that
add Activision to the table? And it's like, okay, now we got the full course meal on the table. All right. Yeah. Well, is there anything else you want to say about the Xbox?
I will address this. Yes, 343 is in a terrible moment. I don't understand. Clearly the people who actually are making the game know what they're doing and they're really good. But there's like the middle tier management or something. I don't know who exactly that person is or those people are, but they suck. It's not Bill Gates, but they suck. Because even the people above them seem to know the vision and understand why or what makes the Halo game a Halo game. And I don't know where the disconnect is. As far as the initiative, I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if it's necessarily bad management or
that's who's producing Perfect Dark, right?
Yeah, but
that situation's fine. Here's what happened: they hired a bunch of people for the project. They started working on the project, and then people left, and they weren't really replaceable. Mm-hmm. So they're hiring Crystal Dynamics to finish the project. Yeah, and they're just going to be essentially a skeleton crew overhead.
What's crazy is that, or not crazy, but most companies have a lot of turnover, and that's just normal
It is
on every
normal.
project. But
Shoot,
like
where
it
I
seems like
work
the
has a lot of
gaming,
turnover, and
well,
that seems odd to me.
the gaming industry gets a lot more scrutiny on it. That it's like, oh, there's turnover. Clearly, that's a problem. It's like, no, you go from say like an entry level job like 45,000, like, oh, then there's suddenly a $55,000 job opening up. Like, yeah, you
You're
might
gonna go
love
take
working that, but you're gonna take the job that pays more.
most
And
people
then
anyway.
yeah, and or you can like move up in the same company. There's lots of different reasons for people to
Turnover
leave.
doesn't necessarily mean you have a bad job. It just means you might have found a better job.
No, most industries it's 3 to 5 years. Like if you're going past that, it's very weird in the same job.
Yeah, and I think this is the main thing. At the end of the day, whichever platform has more to offer for you,
yep,
go that route. But if you don't have any skin in either game, I think the Xbox is the better deal. Like if there's absolutely nothing pulling you in either direction, you just want to get back into gaming, Xbox plus Game Pass plus just basically whatever previous gen you want to play, Xbox is going to give you a better deal.
Yeah, and if you want PlayStation games, I'd rather just get the PlayStation 4. That's the one you should go for.
Yeah,
and then wait for whatever Sony's about to release, because I think they're making a Pro version, and just wait for that one.
Or a Slim.
Yeah.
It probably won't be the Slim. It'll be the PS5 short because it's too tall instead of the Slim.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Get the PS5 short.
I will say, and that you can write this down, take it to the bank, that if they release a console that had the actual boomerang controller, I would buy that instantly.
Because of how dumb it is.
Oh, I was so bummed when they didn't release that thing.
Yeah, and just for the record, if Sony would just stop bricking PS4s, that'd be nice. I'm still shocked that many people had a bricked PS4 and it wasn't like actual national news. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we've been rambling for a long enough amount of time at this point. Yep. So, yeah, I would say if you get a choice and you can get PS5 or Xbox Series X, I'd probably go with the Xbox. Just, if you got no skin in the game on either side, I go Xbox. If you got skin in the game, you're an Xbox guy to begin with, obviously Xbox. If you're a PlayStation fan, you like your God of War, you like Kratos, you like Little Big Planet, you like not Jack and Dexter, right? Ratchet and Clank. If you're a Demon Souls guy, like the answer is already made for you. It's PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've kind of outlined this previously, but each console is doing its own thing. The question isn't which one's the best console. The question is which one's the most geared towards you.
Yep. That's
where we're at now. So
PlayStation's really focusing on good exclusives and then trying to slap you over the face when you try to buy the console. And then Xbox is just like, get into my ecosystem. Here's some free crack.
Like that guy from Dune. Get in my belly. Or is that Austin Powers?
It's Austin Powers. It's not Dune.
That's right. If you want 720 gaming, get the Switch. No, you got portable gaming, AAA style. You get the Switch. Come on, Francisco. Come on.
I will say, I enjoy playing The Witcher 3 on the Switch, but man, was the draw distance so bad. It's like
playing Minecraft on the Vita. There's no draw distance.
Well, it's like the character models immediately in front were okay, but then 20 feet away from the character, it was just blur.
There is a new Witcher coming.
Oh yeah, it's going to take for a long time, but it's also on the Unreal Engine, which is interesting.
Right. All right, Will. I think we've successfully convinced everybody on the fence to never buy gaming consoles at all. So
all right, all right, Phil Spencer, go ahead and send us our check. We definitely had at least one person buy the Xbox.
Get us a Scalebound that I can play. That's that, and Fable Legends too. Both of them. I want both of them now.
Yes.
As always, I'm Chris,
and I'm Will,
and we will see you
on next CHRILLCAST. Later, guys.
Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.